Hey everyone, welcome back, and today I have a really special video for you today. I'm going to tell you exactly which Illuvium land you should consider purchasing, whether you want cheap land, expensive land, or land that is going to resell really well. And as always, welcome back. I am Scoriox, where I do the maths and you do that degen. And as always, this is not financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor, and please always do your own research. Let's do it. So I bet you're wondering, Scoriox, how did you figure out which land is going to be the best to buy for the land sale? And I'm going to tell you right now that it's a bit speculative, but I've done some of my own really basic sentiment analysis, and I'd like to take this further in the future. But this is going to give you some really interesting insights. It's something that anyone can do, but I thought it could be a bit of fun to make this. So definitely, you're going to want to see what I have to show you. So firstly, we're going to discuss what is Illuvium Land. Now, put simply, Illuvium Land is for the Illuvium Zero minigame. And what that will do is it will feed back into the main game of Illuvium, where you'll be able to harvest resources, grab them up, send them to yourself or sell them on the open market, and 5% of all in-game revenues for the main game as well as Illuvium Zero will go to the landowners. And I've got some videos that I've made in the past that analyze kind of what sort of incomes you can be looking at, and I'm going to be doing that more in the future, just waiting for some more information from the devs and how much we could expect to make and other things like that. So I'm definitely going to be covering it more in the future. So if you want to see that and you don't want to miss out, please leave a comment down below, subscribe and hit that little bell. It will definitely help. And don't forget to like this video if you want lots of people to see Illuvium and get into the game, because that is going to make everyone's lives even better. It is going to be an awesome time. I cannot wait. Some other things I'm going to look at is doing more of this further and kind of keeping you up to date on which Illuvium land I might be purchasing, what you might want to get, and things like that, all right? So we're going to quickly look at the map that has been revealed. Now, a lot of this sort of stuff is work in progress, so it's definitely not like gospel or the end result, but you have the map here. And what you have is you have 7 distinct locations. And I'm going to show you them really quickly on my spreadsheet. You have the Abyssal Basin, Crimson Waste, Crystal Shores, Halcyon Sea, Shard Bluff Labyrinth, and the Tiger Boreal. Now, I hope I'm not butchering any of their names. I really do. But that is the 7. I believe only 2 of them are duplicated, but they're all pretty individual elements. Now, why is this important? It should be worth noting the main focus of the 8 different kinds of lands, and I'll go into which one you should get in a minute, but it's important to understand this, is that I believe any kind of land can have any kind of resource. This is all quite procedurally generated, and you can see down here in this little box here that you've got all the little nodes and that they're randomly generated, and I don't believe it'll actually be revealed when you buy the land. This will appear after the fact. So you won't know any of this, but you can see that there are a variety of different colors depending on the kinds of land, and it doesn't really impact it all that much. Land impacts very minor things. So firstly, it impacts if you have a landmark. So for a T3 or a T4 land, landmarks will likely help in megacities and things like that. If it has a landmark, the land's location will likely influence this and what it does. As well as blueprints. So we don't have full details on blueprints, but they're definitely going, I think the way Kieran and Aaron have been talking in the Discord server is that blueprints are actually going to be a really large factor, and they're going to keep improving and updated as we move forward as well. So even if we have a lot of details, there's definitely more to come. But the location of the land will impact this. For example, in the Crimson Wastelands, I think that's what it's called. The Crimson Wastelands, which you might find a Ramfire in the main game. In Illuvium Zero, you won't be able to find a Ramfire, but you might be able to uncover Ramfire blueprints, or at least have a significantly higher chance of doing so. These blueprints, I believe, will unlock cosmetic items for weapons, armor, maybe alluvials. It'll let you place statues of alluvials that are kind of like holograms inside of your town. Mostly cosmetic facets. But the location of the land will impact this. That means that only a certain amount of people, let's say a fifth of all landowners, 2,500 plots of people. No, wait, sorry. 25,000 plots of people, no, 20,000 plots of people will be able to create Ramfire skins and fire armor and weapon skins and things like that. And that can be a big deal to a lot of people. We don't know what sort of demand things like that will happen until I made this video. All right, so I don't want to keep you guys in suspense any longer. That is my rant about land and why it's important. I'm going to go over a few different kinds of people. I'm looking at two major roles here. One, someone who wants to get land as cheap as possible so that they can play the game or do whatever else. And the second type of person is someone that wants to resell their land for as big of a markup as possible. Now, I've used the same statistic range to calculate both of these, but they don't really go in hand, okay? They're very separate scenarios. I just want you guys to be aware of that. Again, please like down below if you like this sort of content, if you want to see more of it, and don't forget to leave a comment if you have some feedback or anything as well. I really appreciate it. Also, you can always jump in the Shiny Shards Guild. I'd be happy to chat with you there as well. Okay, so let's do it. Now, we have a new spreadsheet I made. It's become my thing and I know you guys love it, so I'm not going to stop. Okay, so what have I done? Simply put, I've gone to the Discord, I've typed in a search term, let's say Ramfire, let's hope it works for me in this case. And it's going to show me how many times Ramfire has been said in chat in the Illuvium Discord. This seems a bit weird, sure. But what I've done is I've kept it as similar as I can across the different types, but I've done this same thing for every single element. So as an example, for the water element, I've searched in Atlas, Axon, and Axodon, what I would consider to most likely be the three most popular water alluvials. The Halcyon Sea and Abyssal Basin. In this case, it has two, a slight advantage, but you'll see a lot of these figures actually lined up pretty nicely in the end. I searched up the term water. Now, as you guys have probably guessed, this isn't like a super highly accurate way to determine any sort of sentiment analysis, because people don't have to be referring to Illuvium when they say water in the Discord. And obviously I'm not going to go through 1,050 messages and sift through them. I don't know how to make a bot like that. If you want to help me build something like this, then definitely get into contact with me. I'd love to try it out. But it obviously is a little bit biased to like common words in general. Like, I don't know. There are some good examples in here. I'll see if I can pick them out. And I've also put in every single affinity type related to water. And some of these double up across. So you can see something that's in gray means it's searched up somewhere else and then added here and things like that. Unimportant, but yes. So a few really notable ones that came up a lot. Atlas came up a ton. Okay, and I think it did push water to the top of my list of most searched for term. We have fire, which came up 1,460 times. Okay. We have, oh, I've got to scroll so it won't work. Oh well. We have shock, which came up a surprising amount of times. My mouse has disappeared. Oh wait, there we go. We have shock, which came up a very surprising amount of times at 600. I believe this was actually the highest of all the affinities, excluding water, fire, earth, and so on. A few other notable ones were air came up quite a few times. And earth, I believe, came up the least of the basic elements. So some really interesting things have come out of this. And let's just go straight into the rankings. I don't want to make this video go for too long, because I'm sure you guys really want to see the results. I love making it, love seeing all the feedback and discussion we have on this sort of stuff as well. And I've got my little ang down there because it just seemed fitting. So at the top, we've got water. Second is fire. Air is third, which about half the amount of fire. Water and fire are very close. Nature is fourth, which is quite close to earth, but earth comes down the bottom. Now, these statistics down here don't really matter too much, but I'm looking at Aaron and Kieran have discussed a lot about mega cities. Now, we don't quite exactly know what they do and how they will benefit us yet, but we do know for sure that they will have lots of benefits, and that the land sale is going to be, in the first land sale at least, eventually all the lands will connect, but they won't necessarily when you've only released a fifth of them, okay? And what this means is that they're releasing some plots that are just one plot on their own, and groups of plots that are about 3 by 3. I don't know if they'll be released all together in a single batch or separately, but I would assume a single batch because that makes the most sense. So you've got 3x3s in 1 plots. Now these modifiers here are what I've incorporated because I believe that the 3x3 plots will be worth more resale wise and buying wise than the singular plots. At least in this land sale. That could change over time. I could be completely wrong. Always do your own research and don't forget to ask advice from everyone you can. So much fun. But yes, I have got about a 3x3. Now this last figure only affects some of this data, but it's basically what I consider as a minimum price it to drop to before people start piling on. But this is quite a general term. This sort of thing isn't trying to predict the prices of the land and things like that. It's more so to kind of use this analysis of people in the Discord to figure out which lands are going to be the cheapest or more expensive based on what sort of lands people might want to be purchasing because of popularity. It's simply what it is. It's a popularity contest on the elements and synergies and things in the game. Okay. And we're using that to find out what land might be worth. All right. So land resale. I wonder if I can zoom and I can catch all this. Yeah, perfect. Okay, the land resale cost. So I think in the Abyssal Basin, so I'm going to look mostly at T1s. And if you want to look at the other things on this chart, you can look at them and pause the video or whatever. But I don't really have the time to go through all of them. And the percentages actually stay static throughout because of the way I've done the maths. So unfortunately, I'm going to focus on the T1s for now. But you can see that it translates almost identically across them. But the Abyssal Basin 3x3 looks to be the most valuable. Okay, the Halcyon Sea is also water, so I kept that the same. Although realistically, since the demand is being split almost in half maybe, these could be worth a bit less, but that is how I'm calculating this. And that's about $5,700 after the fact. Brightland Steps coming in close at $4,800. And then Crystal Shores also close to $4,800 on a 3x3. So what's more important is the percentage profit. So using these statistics, how I explained a second ago, we're looking at the land sale ROI. So I'm going to quickly scroll that down so that I've got everything in it. Whoops. Okay. We've got the land sale ROI. Now, what does this mean? This is the percentage profit you could make for reselling it as soon as the land sale is finished. The first land sale at least, and then if you put it on the market straight after, this is what I see. It's more of a comparative device. I don't think lands are going to go up 230%, although they could go way beyond that if you look at the Axie Infinity land. But this is a comparative device. I think if you're buying land in the Abyssal Basin or the Halcyon Sea, you're going to resell them for significantly more than if you bought it from, say, the Crystal Shores or the Shard Bluff Labyrinth, which is the Earth one, I believe. And you're going to be potentially getting a bigger ROI because based on the Discord, there's significantly higher demand. Now, I hope that makes sense to you guys. So the Abyssal Basin is about 240% for a 3x3, and then the Crimson Waste is about 232%. So you can see based on these figures that fire and water always stay really close together. Air is up there as well, and then you have earth and the other one that is named nature that I believe are down the bottom. So definitely something worth considering. Now, I'm going to look at the potential prices for some of these other lands. If we look at it on the inverse, how far could the price drop to for when you're purchasing these lands? At the low end, you've got things like a 1x1 Crystal Shores. Now, I'm going to try and get as cheap a land as I can, but I definitely want to go for a T2. But if you're looking for getting a cheap land and looking for getting a cheap plot in your budget, then I think this will be really helpful to see kind of which lands might sell for less than others. Things like the 1x1 on Crystal Shores, Shard Bluff Labyrinth, and the 1x1 for the Brightland Steps is also quite low. So it's definitely worth looking at those ones when you're looking to purchase land. Now, this is just the same thing. It's just a statistical analysis of that. And you're looking at the price going as low as 25%. Nope, that's wrong. I don't know why that's so. Oh, maybe that's a discount. So it's a discounted price. So you're looking at its price dropping as high as 80% on something like the Crystal Shores or Shard Bluff Labyrinth, and 78% on the Brightland Steps. So if you're looking to get some awesome land and you're looking to make a quick buck, I hope this video was really helpful for you. I found it really interesting doing this sort of statistical analysis on something so arbitrary like Discord messages. But it just shows the beauty of that you can find numbers wherever you look. And I definitely like to ground it in some sort of numbers, even if they seem a bit extreme. So I hope you guys found that really helpful. Definitely please like the video down below. I really appreciate it. I can't wait for the next one. Hey everyone, thanks for watching the video. I hope that you'll watch that next video up in the top right hand corner, or don't, but I really do appreciate it. Please like and subscribe down below, and I'll catch you all in the next one.